Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a collective reading for the Lionsgate portal. So today it's the 8 of the 8. So we have this Stargate, this Lionsgate, that talks about the crossing between time and space, at least in the way that I see this alignment between these two eights. And it is, the waning moon in Taurus also, besides being a portal day. So we are, in a sense, going inward. We are more introspective, but in a very grounded way, trying to find our stability, trying to find safety and security, both internal and external. And so I pull cards from my big combined deck of tarot cards and astrological oracle cards. So you'll see both of them here in the reading today. And this is a very interesting reading because the first image, well, let me already show you the card. So we're beginning with the Five of Pentacles. If you've been here for quite some time now, you know that the Five of Pentacles to me symbolizes the X on a map, right? So it talks about a specific location, like this treasure hunt. But specifically today, this image brought me some sort of different reference, not of this place where you're intended to go, but really the trail that you're following, because this was showing me this lion footprint. So it's almost like you're in a safari, for instance, or whatever kind of pursuit or quest or adventure. In a sense, there is this sort of adventurous like energy to it, because it is something that is valuable, right? Being pentacles, so it is something that brings value to what you're pursuing, to the adventure itself. It's something that is worth your while. It is worth your investment. It is worth your time, right? The crossing between time and space. And it is talking also about being exactly in the right spot for you to receive that next, what is the word? It's not clue necessarily. It's like spotting this footprint, right? Out in the open. You're spotting this clue, but it's there. It's imprinted, right? It's like this footprint. So it represents like this mark that some other creature, maybe we're talking about like a person or an opportunity or something that has left its mark for you to find it. So, and I want to say it's not it's almost like the lion is not here, right? So it's like the lion's gate is, or it's open, the portal is open, but the lion is not there. I don't know if that makes sense, because the way that you, the one who's I'm addressing this message to, is coming through as a page, the Page of Wands. And this Page of Wands is coming through as a cub instead of this full, mature, grown lion, right? Or lioness. So the lion or the lioness is gone, but it's left a footprint for you to find. So it's almost like this kind of like generational passing of a torch, but it's not passing of a torch. It's not wanting to is it wanting you to step into their footprint? Is that what it is? Because it didn't seem to be that when I pull the cards, and seeing the rest of the cards that are here, I don't feel like that's the focus, at least not for now, because you showing up as the cub, right, as a Page of Wands, there is a little bit of it's interesting, the word that I'm hearing is fragility, but it's not it's like you are hesitant to know that this is a big deal, right? But you sense, it's almost like you can smell, right, the presence of this lion or the lioness that was here, that left this footprint for you to find. But it's almost like it just wants to be that, right? A mark for you to follow that step or that footstep or that path. But from curiosity and not from a place of naivety, right? Or it's like this fine line between being very naive and very curious, or very spontaneous and just following this trail, right? This footprint, this sign in a sense. Because somehow you know that it's meant for you. It was left for you intentionally for you to find. So it's like this instinctive reaction, like, oh my God, this is exciting, this is an adventure, let me see where this is going to take me. But at the same time, it's like, oh my God, where this is going to take me. You see what I mean? It's like the same thing can bring up two different feelings, and the reaction is like, okay, I found this seems to be something important, something relevant, something meant for me, but I need to go back inside. I need to retrieve for a little bit with the Hermit to think about my next step, to think about my decision wisely, even though it's like the wisdom of a child. It's like the very spontaneous, it's like not letting your instincts guide you or drive you to the point of impulsiveness, or it's like you're being flared up, you're being it's like this sign is contagious in a sense, but it's like it's driving you with optimism. And it's interesting, the word that just came through, it's like fortitude. So it's like you're feeling lucky because you found this. So I feel like in a sense you have been looking for this, but it's like maybe you feel like because you're still a cub, you're still a page, you haven't gained a lot of experience or a lot of preparation. So it's almost like you need to go back inside. This is talking about study. This is talking about like, okay, I have found this, but what do I do exactly with this? What do I do with this sign, with this information? I need to think about it, right? The Hermit talks to me, especially right now, talking about going into a very intimate, like shut down bubble where you can have your own peace and quiet to think about this thing, right? Because it seems like it is very real. It is out there, right? It is like an actual trail, an actual path that you are meant to follow, but you are already here where you have shelter. So this is also something interesting about the Hermit. The Hermit here is bringing shelter. So in a sense, you have what you need. You are protected. You are being taken care of. And so I feel like in a sense, this is not a child per se. This is almost like, it's like spiritual growth, right? It's like spiritually, you know that perhaps you haven't experienced it all, you haven't seen it all. There's a lot of room for growth, but you are in a safe place, in a comfort zone where you can experiment with this. Sometimes I see the Hermit as like a lab, right? A lab of the alchemist, or the you see what I mean, right? The scientist. So it's like you're going back inside because you know that you are smart enough not to let your impulse drive you in such a naive way that you would regret, because there is a little bit of that here. And I feel like it's pretty wise what you're doing, to be honest, because you don't want to be, it's almost like because you're seeing yourself as a cub, it's like you would be an easy, very fragile, again, the fragility, right? Fragile prey, right? Is it prey the right word? Right? It's like, no, not prey. What is the word? The opposite to that, right? The one that chases the prey. Is that the right way to say it? Or am I mixing up? You see what I mean, right? It's like you're vulnerable to the wilderness in a sense, because the one that's left the mark, it's like they have been out there in the open experimenting with these wild things a long time. Like they know how to survive. They know how to go through the wilderness without risking their integrity is what is coming through. But you as a page, as a cub, it's like you are smart enough to think a little bit more about how to actually use this, how to actually follow through with this sign that you're receiving from this more experienced traveler, lion, lioness, however you want to see this. And so here, after the Hermit with the Justice card, this is talking about weighing possibilities, weighing your options. So this is what you're doing here. It's like you're very meticulous, right? Very precise. This is all about precision. It's like the precision of the mind, the precision of the consciousness, and also emphasizes the fact that this has to be very aligned, right? The axis in the middle has to be very aligned in order for you to make this decision as balanced as possible, because it's like you're not diminishing yourself, but you're being realistic with what you know and what you don't know. So for instance, if this is an opportunity to follow the footsteps of somebody that is already very well versed in the wilderness, right? They are a survivor in a sense, right? It's reminding me of all of those TV shows about surviving out in the open, right? There is one that I can't remember the name, but it's, where a guy, I think his name is Bear. He takes like celebrities to spend a few days out in the open, and they have to, cross over from one side to the next. And they do have, so this is interesting, right? They have like this goal, they have this X marked on a map, right? So, and they follow the natural instincts of, the guide, right? Who knows a lot better than the one who's been taken care of by the one that is more experienced. But in this situation, it's like the one who is guiding you is no longer there. It's like just leaving marks and signs for you to find and continue, right? But there are some tricks, because the Devil card here is talking about this fork on the road. So it seems like you have set camp with this Hermit here right at the crossroads of the Devil. So you could either go this way or this way, and weighing your options actually is proving that there is no right or wrong. That's what this is talking about. It's like weighing your options with wisdom, but also with fairness and justice and truth. This is actually not going to be deceitful. It's not going to be a frustration either way you go, right? But again, it's like, in a way, you do have this goal in mind, although maybe it's meeting the lion, right? Maybe you are really going for the lion, right? It's like your intention is to meet the one who left this mark. So it's like you're trying to find them, not just where they're leading you to, right? So that perhaps could be it. But the trickster here of the Devil could be the fact that if you wouldn't take time to think things through and to find this very stable axis, right? It's like finding this stability between mind and heart and action, right? And your body. This could be very frustration, right? It's not bringing like this drama or this it's not a negative outcome. That's not what it is. What this is talking about is that there is no guilt. That's the thing. It's like there is no guilt which way you go, right? Because you have already found the sign that is proving that you are in the exact right spot. That's the reason why this has been left there for you, right? So that you know that you are in the right spot. But there is also something that is pulling you towards the next thing. And because these two paths are, they are going side by side in a sense, right? They feel like they are diverging, but then it seems like they are going to converge here, right? They are going to merge down the road. But it's not until you get there that you realize that either way, either choice would lead you to the same outcome. So the trick here is that it's like if you allow this indecision to take the precision out of this decision making. I don't know if this was too confusing, but again, it's like, do not let the indecision remove you from this place of stability and balance that you are in. It's like, take your time to stay here where you have shelter, where you have protection, to find this balance and weigh your options and realize that either way, you're going to go to where you're supposed to, right? So here, after this devil tries to bring you to a point of indecision, this is exactly what this is. So the Seven of Swords is talking about a bunch of ideas just randomly passing through your mind. So when I see all of these swords going around and round and round, it's like the devil trying to trick you into just staying there. Because, okay, so this is also interesting. What the Hermit right underneath this Five of Pentacles is talking about is like the confusion, perhaps the trick that the devil could play with you being here at this crossroads is the question of, should I stay or should I go? Right? Because this is playing both parts, right? This is saying, yes, you are in the right place, but there's also something else that you're meant to go there, or somewhere else that you're meant to explore. The Hermit is talking about finding shelter already where you're at. So in a sense, it is already familiar. It is already your place where you can study and investigate and just think things through with peace and quiet, right? It is where you find your stillness, where you find your balance. So staying or maybe that's it, right? Maybe this is talking about staying or going. Either way, you're going to get to where you're supposed to go. But thinking too much, it's actually not the most beneficial to you at this time, because this is what the Seven of Swords is talking about. It's like the trick is if you extend too much your thinking process, right? It's not about the question or, finding an answer to your question about staying or going. It's staying in this indecision. The indecision is the trick. It's the trick, right? The trickster that this devil is representing is to keep you here stuck in this loop, in this mental loop that won't take you anywhere, basically, right? So don't keep thinking about this one thing or this question, thinking that you're not going to find the answer. So the answer seems to be represented by the Neptune card. So this is from the Astrological Oracle deck. And this is talking about trusting not only your instincts that were highlighted because of this, right? So finding this sign highlighted and ignited this fire in you, this impulse, this instinct. But here, this is talking about intuition. So the intuition, it's like here, when you go inside, when you find this wise moment to think things through, but you realize that thinking too much is not going to be helpful either. You realize that you have the wisdom, you have the spontaneity, you have this instinctive reaction to follow through with what you have been feeling and finding and sensing, but you also trust your intuition, and your intuition is going to allow you to move on from this, right? Because this is like this it's almost like this circle of samsara, right? It's like this karmic circle in a sense. It's like something that keeps you stuck. So you don't want to stay stuck in your mind. You don't have to be afraid of making a wrong decision, because again, it's not a question of right or wrong. It's a matter of trusting your wisdom, trusting your instincts, trusting your intuition. So what I'm seeing here with this intuition card, with this Neptune card, is like the way through this is like just put your hands up, just just allow the universe, allow this divine justice to be at play, right? It's almost like call in divine justice, call in this balance, because you have already it in you, right? You see here how this axis is very stable. Here it is at the same time, right? And it's like weighing your options is very wise. It's very appropriate, but also surrendering to divine justice, to this, actually more than just divine justice, it wants to be divine will, right? Because of the instinct. So it's like it may start as a small fire in you, right? This curiosity that was instigated by this sign, by the Five of Pentacles, by that footprint. But being a very wise being, yes, there are a lot of room for growth, and you know that. And knowing that actually just accentuates your wisdom, because you know when to call in for this divine help, right? It's like you're calling in for more balance, for more peace, for more stability, right? Stability to trust what is the best decision for you, knowing that there is no right or wrong. So I truly hope that this was helpful or made sense for you. I truly hope that you enjoy this portal day, this Lionsgate portal day. I am going to pull more cards to see where this is going. And I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.